What's up, guys? It's Daryl from Smart Shooters, and today we are going to talk about the 5 reasons that you should build your own custom AR-15. Now, you may be wondering why I have this big, bulky hoodie on a 60-degree day in the springtime. Well, that's because this is from a brand called Bulletproof Everyone. In our next YouTube video, we are going to take it to the gun range and test to see if it does what it says it's going to do. It says it should stop any handgun round from 22 long rifle to 9mm. We're going to test that, so make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. That will be the next video that releases after this one. We're going to take it to the gun range and test it. I'm going to put it on a mannequin. I am not going to wear it. Some people seem to misunderstand when I say I'm going to test it. I am not going to wear this and have someone shoot at me. I am going to place it on a mannequin, and we're going to test to see if this armor will stop rounds from penetrating. Before we proceed with this video, we want to show that the firearm is clear. When I initially show the AR, I'll have the mag in it just because it looks sweeter with the mag. But this firearm definitely is clear. Again, this video is about 5 reasons why you should build your own AR-15. Now with me, I have my AR-15 I just built with Aero Precision parts. Aero Precision in the world of AR-15s, some people would argue it's about middle of the road. Some people would argue that it's actually a top of the line brand, but if you guys want to get a closer look, I am very happy with the way it came out. It does just look like a regular AR. The performance trigger is amazing, but we'll jump into it. Building an AR is a whole lot of fun. I would love to show you guys the process, but YouTube is flagging and tearing down all the videos that have anything to do with building ARs right now. That being said, I'll show you guys some clips. This was fun to build. Reason number 1, the experience, all right? I kind of was just alluding to that. The experience of sitting down or sitting at a workbench with all the parts laid out, and you're just putting stuff together, learning where each part goes. But it's build day. Got my guy Steve helping me out over at Dart. Talk more about what he does in a little bit, but I'm gonna put together this lower to go with this upper, and hopefully we end up with a badass 300 blackout. So let's see. There's no feeling like it. I can't explain it. I can't articulate it enough. It was like such a rush. It was almost like I had adrenaline flowing just with so much excitement. I'm hyped, my first build. From learning, okay, do I want this trigger or do I want this trigger? Do I want this handguard or do I want this handguard? You know what I mean? It's just things that you don't think about when you go to your average gun store and try to buy an AR. All right, number 2 is the price, all right? When you're building an AR, it could be as cheap or as expensive as you need it to be. You could use Anderson lowers. Some people use polymer lowers. I know polymer lowers are cheaper, but I wouldn't trust the polymer lower. Some people run them with no problem. I do have friends who have polymer lowers and they cracked. So not something that I was ever really wanting to dabble with, but you could build it all the way up from there to your typical Anderson receivers, to Aero Precision, to a Daniel Defense. I mean, you name it, there's something out there for every price point, and everyone's got their own little, I don't want to call it a gimmick, but their own reasons on why their product is what you should use. I would tell you, do your research, all right? Right now, stuff is scarce, and people are overcharging. I may or may not have paid more than what some people think was okay, but it was okay for my budget. I had an allotted budget when building this AR, and I wanted to stick to that, and that's how everything else kind of happened. So the best advice I could give you, once you got your budget, do your research, figure out how much this gun really needs to be. What do you need it to do? All right, is this gonna be an actual defense gun? Is it gonna be a truck gun? Is it gonna be something you just take to the range and have fun with the friends? Like, figure out what you need this gun to be, base your budget around that, and then do your research. The number 3 reason that you should build your own AR-15 is the quality. You are the quality control, all right? You determine if some parts are too skimpy or too cheap to want to put in your actual firearm, or if something might be too much. Maybe you can cut costs by going with a different bolt carrier group versus another one. You get to make all of those decisions, but you control the quality. Now, for me, this was big, especially when I wanted to upgrade the trigger, and I'm so glad that the guy I worked with had that Palmetto performance trigger. It wasn't even a question for me, because I was like, the one gripe that I have with all my AR-15s is the long, heavy trigger pull. I was like, there's got to be something better out there. The one I chose definitely was it. That being said, being able to control the quality of what you get is great. There's nothing worse, I know, than buying an AR from the store and it's got some random stock on it that you've never heard of before, or it's got the standard pistol grips for ARs versus mag pull, or even some of the other ones that I learned about as I was building mine. Quality is something, even down to the fact that I used Aero Precision. I went with Aero Precision because they had a high reputation for quality, and all the research that I did, and all the people that I know who have ARs, Aero Precision was pretty high up on their quality list. And so I wanted to make sure that if I was going to invest the type of money that I chose to invest, that the firearm was going to be something of quality. So that's the number 3 reason you should definitely build your own AR, is the quality. Number 4, customizing. I don't know about y'all, but I love to customize things. I like putting it just the way I like it. When I was building this, shout out to my guy Steve at Dart. He's the one who helped me with this. When I was building this AR, I had no idea about the whole thumb switch for my light. That was something that I had to consider. Then what I realized was, if I was going to put my light on the side instead of on the top like I have it on one of my other ARs, then I was like, my handguard has to be adjusted for where the light's going to be. Those are little things that you just don't think about. And it could be because I'm new to building my own ARs and really doing what I want to them. But even like the sights, going with aluminum sights versus the plastic Magpul sights, like, there's so many options. Like, the world of AR-15s is just limitless when it comes to customization. There's an Aero Precision AR pistol I'm working on right now that I'm going to take to get Cerakoted. Like, the options are just limitless. But it does feel better, and it's nicer when you can customize during the whole process versus buying a gun and then trying to do stuff to it. For example, taking a lower receiver to get Cerakoted or engraved or whatever you need is a lot easier when it's just the lower receiver than having to either tear the lower receiver apart from a gun you just bought, or having to pay the Cerakote shop extra money to take the gun apart and put it back together. So those are the types of things that I thought about. Like, customization really made this process special. And again, the guy I worked with, Steve, I'm gonna have more about his shop in the end. He really, really, really made it easy for me. Whatever I wanted, anything could be customized, like anything. That definitely, to me, is reason number 4 why you should definitely build your own AR. Reason number 5 is the knowledge, all right? Number 1 was the experience. Number 5 is the knowledge. A lot of times we take for granted how stuff works in the AR-15. And yeah, I get the basic functions of the gas block, the trigger mechanism. Like, I get the basic mechanics of it, but as you build it, as you build the trigger assembly, as you start putting the detents in your lower receiver and you realize what's holding what in place, like, it gives a whole new appreciation for the AR-15 platform. To me, it made me realize how much of a real smooth, solid running gun this is. So I definitely think you should build one so you can get the knowledge and understanding of how an AR works. Because it's easy when you first buy an AR-15. When I first got my first one, I got a Diamondback DB-15. There was no real taking it apart to understand the logistics of it or the mechanics of it. It was really just throw a magazine in, get a box of 223 or 5.56, and go shoot. Then when it was time to clean, the first time my AR needed to be clean, I tried to take it to my gunsmith. I didn't even trust myself to clean it. When in reality, you would be surprised at how simple it is. I don't want to say it's easy, but it's simple to take an AR apart, clean it, get a good cleaning kit. Shooter lube is what I use for every gun that I own. But you would just be surprised, but you can't get that knowledge until you really take the journey for yourself. So, reason number 5 that you should build your own AR, definitely the knowledge. So to talk about my experience building the AR, the first word that comes to mind with building was fun. It was just fun to be able to pick out all the parts and pieces that I wanted, to pick out what caliber I wanted it chambered in, to know that I got good quality parts. There's no slack and slop in between there. I got an Aero Precision upper with an Aero Precision, I think it's the M4E1 lower. I was happy. The whole build process, from picking out my stock, picking out the light that I wanted to use on it, to the internal parts. I did not go with a traditional AR trigger. I used the Palmetto Performance trigger. But again, this firearm is clear. To my left is a safe direction. You want to see how light that trigger pull is. Yeah, this trigger is nice. It's a 3.5 pound trigger pull. But yeah, I didn't skip any dollars on this. I spent well over $1,000 in parts putting all of this together. And I wanted the experience. And when I tell you that it's nothing more rewarding and fulfilling than building your own AR, no feeling like it. No gun I ever bought felt as good. There's some guns that are more expensive, some guns that might even perform better, but the rewarding feeling you get from finally putting the upper receiver and connecting it to the lower receiver, like, that feeling is unmatched, all right? stop it.
Push it. Yeah.
There we go.
Pull the charging handle back. Make sure it's smooth. Nice.
I am a happy guy.
It's a bad gun.
That's a bad gun right there. Man, you see how sexy this build is. Just get it from the back to the front. Yes, sir. Now, before I end this video, I want to give a shout out to my guy, Steve. He has a shop in Dora, Michigan called Dart. Look him up. Great guy, honest guy. Sold me everything except the lower. My guy, Tim, sold me the lower. I'll see if I can find a picture of his business card so you can contact him. He's a local FFL in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Black FFL too. Had no idea that we even had African American FFLs here. Anyway, Steve at Dart was amazing. All right. Not only did he sell me everything, customize me everything, like help me pick exactly how I wanted the gun to be, where I wanted certain things to be, but then he allowed me to come in his shop and he walked me through the build. He did not build it for me, but he walked me through step by step on how to build it. And that alone is like priceless. Having somebody walk you through something like building the AR is an amazing experience. So shout out to Steve, my guy. I appreciate you. Depending on what the wife got going on, I might try to tiptoe up there before I finish recording this video, just to see what else you got. Might look at getting a new charger handle too. Well, guys, that's it. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe. Show me some love. I appreciate all the love. I try to respond to all the comments, as many as I can. And if you got anything negative to say, I save it for another video. I don't respond to negative comments. And if I got extra time on my hands, I make sure I delete them. So, you know, save the negativity for somewhere else. There is a talk about banning AR-15s. And I don't know how that's gonna go. But I mean, there's no point in me stressing about it now. Right now, I'm gonna enjoy my Second Amendment rights. And I'm gonna build as many of these as my heart desires that my pocketbook will allow. All right, it's Daryl Rostick, Smart Shooters. I appreciate y'all for watching. Catch y'all on the next video.